Being delusional feels absolutely wonderful. It feels amazing when you have to lie to yourself to help yourself get through it, get through the pain, or just ignore it. Really, lying to yourself isn't actually going through the pain, you're just ignoring the pain. So if you could be delusional to yourself and tell yourself that there is some savior that's going to save you, I'm going to ignore reality. I'm going to ignore what's going on and taking place on this planet because I so badly want to believe in a savior. I feel like whatever is going on here, there's got to be some grand purpose to it all. There's got to be some divine purpose. The purpose is very loving, but when you look around, you don't really see anything here that got to do with love. You have delusional people who try to build relationships, and nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So you're gonna fuck up. But who really operates on that level of love to be able to forgive somebody, overlook certain things, still be loving, still be kind? Not too many people. Not too many people. That's why people go to the extreme lengths of control that they do. To them, that's considered love. Being controlling. Trying to control somebody's every little bit of their life. Not allowing them to be who they are. That's why society is all about control. Because they have no love. They have no love. All they want to do is control what the next person is doing in order to gain from it. They're parasites. Society. Parasites. They want to continue their meaningless, purposeless existence by extracting energy from everybody else. If you don't want to participate in what's going on here, you have no choice but to remain steadfast with researching ways to exit this planet. We don't care about this whole survival game that you guys want to play on this planet. I mean, you have people that's really, really paranoid out here. They want to avoid the inevitable death for as long as possible. They are so desperate to cling to this place that we've been told that we need a love, we need to respect, we need to protect Mother Nature. Why? Nobody can tell you why. And it's only because they want to keep breeding this rotten species and bringing people here. Because they're all chasing something. They're chasing something. They just can't even pinpoint what it is that they're chasing. They couldn't tell you what it is. They will create every kind of story that doesn't even make logical sense just so that they can breed. There is 8 billion people on the planet already. Why isn't that you can't find someone to love that's here. Since you have this need, there are people here that can help you satisfy this need. But humans believe they're doing this for some grand divine purpose. So I'm doing this for a grand divine purpose, and it helps me chase hormones. I'm gonna fucking do it. Are you kidding me? They can feel the heaviness of this place. They can feel the darkness of this place. But instead of actually admitting that and saying, I just need to feel a void, that's why I'm doing this. Instead of them being honest, they're dishonest. And they say the most bizarre things. They say the most bizarre things in order to satisfy their need. Oh, I read today a comment online. Someone said, women were created to give bodies to the souls in heaven. I'm going to repeat that just in case you didn't hear how bizarre it sounds. Women were created to give bodies to souls in heaven. And they said something else about God. They've been using this entity for thousands and thousands of years to control the masses. And before that, they were using some other entity. And before that, they were using another entity. So we're just in a different time. So now it's God. It's God that we're doing this for. Before it was for the sun. The sun was a portal, and we were mirroring the portal of the sun, and we were bringing the children from to earth. Humans will literally make up the most crazy hogwash. They don't want to look at the truth. They rather tell themselves all kinds of lies that makes no sense. When the truth is, you're afraid to die. You're afraid to die. You want to cling on to existence for as long as possible? You want to have attachments to this place? You want to create a fantasy fairy tale life that's going to make you feel good while you're here so you can have a reason to keep it going for as long as possible? And I don't know why anybody would have to create people to do that, because there's a world that's just so big out there already that can satisfy and please people. I tell people all the time, I am here to let you know that you have the free will to move about. And people also have the free will to procreate. And I also have the free will to discuss the filth that's going on here in this planet. So everybody has their own free will, right? We're already controlled. We're already in a controlled realm. There's nothing free about this realm. That's what you've been told, but it's a lie. Ever since we've had a conscious ability to retain information, because that's all we were doing the first 10 years of our lives, and that's why you're so happy as a child. I mean, if you had a normal childhood, I'm not talking about everybody, but pretty much if you had a normal childhood, you're a pretty happy child up until the age of 10, because from baby to 10, you're just retaining information. You're not able to actually dissect the information that you're retaining. So that is why they get you real young and they start telling you all kinds of shit that they can't prove. And the majority of people retain that information, and as they grow older, they never take the time to dissect the information they've been given. Doesn't make sense, doesn't make logical sense. They don't do it. Most people will not do it. How do I know? Because I'm very blunt and I ask people questions and they can never answer them. They can never admit that they don't know the answer. They will just try to create a story that helps them feel good. I'm telling you, if you don't, listen, I'm not an extroverted person. I'm not an extroverted person. I'm very introverted. I've always been introverted. But one thing I like to do when people start talking to me is ask them questions. And they start making up their own. Instead of being able to answer the questions, what they do is they judge the person asking them questions. Like if you're asking that question, are you okay? Are you depressed? Are you this? Are you that? And it's like, no, I'm just asking you questions. You just can't answer them. And instead of you not being able to answer them, you prefer to tell me some shit that doesn't even make sense. So I'm going to keep asking you questions until you realize that you're not making sense. And you start looking like a deer in the headlights. I do this to people often. That's why I've been called bougie, stuck up, Miss Know-It-All. I've been called everything in the book. And all I'm doing is asking the motherfucker questions. That's it. That's all I do. You see, we've been told from child to 10 years old that we aren't allowed to ask any questions about what's going on in this realm. You're not allowed to question anything. You just have to accept it. Imagine being ran a program in your brain. And we know how the brain, we've studied a little bit how the brain retains information. Through repetition, fear, and some preconceived purpose. Some end goal. So you've been told all these years that from baby to 10 years old, where you're retaining information, you're not able to dissect the information, that your purpose here is to be fruitful and multiply for a God. Worship a God that created this planet so you can get to heaven. So they're right there. We have the purpose, which is to be born and to be fruitful and multiply. That's the purpose right there. Then we have I'm sorry, y'all. I lost my train of thought. Well, we know their end goal is to get to heaven. Their end goal is to get to heaven, this beautiful place. I mean, with sidewalk made of golds and mansions and houses. They're even materialistic in heaven. You can't even go. It don't even seem like we're going to be able to go to heaven and chill. Motherfucker, you're going to have to work for these mansions up here. The shit sounds so ridiculous. Motherfucker never sat and thought and to ask themselves, why the fuck will we need a mansion in heaven for? These dumb idiots have never taken the time to ask themselves these questions that are so imperative. Oh my God. Oh. So yeah. It is what it is. I'm not here to change anybody. I don't want to change anybody. I will talk about certain aspects of this realm, but I want people to think. I'm not here to change anybody's mind about anything. I'm here to ask the questions and to help people think, to ask logical questions until things make clear sense. And nothing has since I've been here. Nothing has made any sense here. Very few people have the ability and will have the ability to take the information they've been given and dissect it at a certain point. Some people can tell you from a certain age. I mean, I could tell you from the age of 7, 6, 7, I started really asking myself questions about this place. Because I was a greedy ass little girl. I wanted to eat. And what I wanted to eat was, I wanted to eat home cooked food, and I also wanted to eat a lot of junk like pizza, burgers, fries, milkshakes, candies, chocolates, you name it. I still struggle with a sugar addiction today. And I started asking myself, if all of this thing exists here on this planet, why isn't that we can enjoy it in abundance? Because you're being controlled through your body. Your body, your human meat sack is a control mechanism. And humans believe that a creator that gave them this meat sack loves them. And this is why we see reality as it is, what it is. They think control is love. A lot of people do. A lot of people don't, and a lot of people do. Because that's what they've been told. Do you understand? Some entity created you in this really, really controlled planet down to the point where it's controlling what you can put in your body and what you can't put in your body. It's controlling you through a nervous system so you can feel pain because it wants you to fear. Do you guys know how many religious Christians were so terrified and paranoid during COVID? I mean, they were running out to get these shots. They didn't sit and question anything. They ran to get those shots. And now people are dying and getting cancer at an alarming rate. And people want to pretend like it has nothing to do with the vaccine. Because people want to pretend on this planet, y'all. They don't want to tell the truth. They don't want to look at the truth. They don't even want to examine to see if they can find the truth. Lies feel better. And I get it because I've lied to myself. And I was on cloud 9. Those lies had me soaring. Until I had to look at the reality of a situation. A woman will know her husband is cheating or vice versa. And instead of them actually coming to terms with that and the reality of that, they rather lie to themselves and pretend like it's not happening. So humans find every type of angle to lie to themselves to help themselves feel good. They don't want to feel bad. No. No. If you tell the truth about what you see going on in this prison planet and you point it out, people will come and call you depressed. And that's how they get you to shut up about it. Because they don't want to look at the reality of it. You pointing out the reality forces them to look at it, but they don't want to internalize it at all. That's why they're going to tell you that you're depressed. You need to seek help. And when you look at the word therapist, you actually break it down like we've been taught. The prefix, the subject, rapist, the rapist, therapist, the rapist of your brain, to fuck you into believing. Really, it fucks you into being numb to this place. Be numb. Be delusional. And you'll just soar right through this bitch. And listen, whatever you have to do to cope in this reality, please use it. Please use it. I'm not against copes. I'm not. What I am against is forcing people into your delusional copes and trying to force your copes on them. If you want to do drugs every single motherfucking day until you overdose, go ahead and do that. That's your free will. Being high feels good. So why shouldn't you feel good? It's when you procreate and you bring an innocent child into your little cope. And now this child has to deal with a dead parent that OD'd. Just because you wanted to be selfish and do that. We have people who cope through religion, believing that they have a savior that's coming to save them. That's a nice, good, feel-good cope. Why shouldn't they have that cope? They should. Whatever you got to do to cope through this reality should be available to you. It's when they create people, they create children, and now they need to indoctrinate the children to be saved, and it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense to create someone and now say they need a savior. That makes no fucking sense. None. And like I stated, the comment I saw that I saw earlier that said women were created to give bodies to souls in heaven. If they're already in heaven, right? Why would you now give them a body, bring them down to this filthy, disgusting prison planet hellscape, make them go through school indoctrination, that may be absolutely the most terrible experience for them? Force them to now have to get a job, which is wage slavery, or even if you own a business, you're still slaving for wages. I don't know why people think owning a business is anything different. You are still slaving for wages. You need money. Doesn't matter if you're owning your business or not. That's why people are running around here like a chicken with their head cut off. They're fucking slaves. They don't even have the ability to stop and be aware of anything that's going on, because they go work, home, sleep, wake up, work, home, sleep, wake up. That's literally everybody's day-to-day schedule when you're living in a rat race. You have the weekends to try to run errands. That's about it. That's about it. And these scoundrels, these vermins, are thankful to a creator that created this realm. Why? Because from like I stated, from the ages of baby to 10 years old, they were told that this God is loving and this God is going to love them in heaven. So you know how high and good that feels to believe that? Why would you try to even research the truth in that when it feels so damn good? So y'all have to understand. You have to try to understand delusional people. You have to really try to break down their psychology. They so badly want to run from the truth that even if you have a great relationship with one of them, if you ask them too many questions, they will cut you off. They'll go no contact with you. And that's why I'm blessed to have the people that I have in my life. Because I have a very small circle. Very, 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 very small circle that understand me and allows me to ask them questions. And they can actually tell me, you know what, you're right. What you're saying is the truth. You're not lying. But I still rather cling on to what I've been